Please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
Welcome back. You're watching Power Breakfast. Let's keep an eye out on the Asian markets. Remember, the Nikkei was up about 0.4%, shrugging off concerns coming in from the weak truck or capital expenditure data. So we'll keep an eye out on that one. The thing that is taking the Japanese index higher are two things. One is the strong close on the Wall Street, and second, some weakness that we're seeing in the dollar yen. Good news for Japanese exporters. The Korean markets, again, weighed in by political uncertainty, still up about 0.25%, slightly higher than what we checked the last time. The Straits as well as the Taiwanese indices, both of them in focus. Straits will be in focus. Remember, Singapore Airlines slated to report its earnings, so those should be due in an hour or two from now. We'll keep an eye out on that. The Taiwanese index, though, however, has slipped from the high point of today's trading session. All of this has had no real bearing on the SGX Nifty, which has not properly led the markets in terms of opening. We have a lot of political drama to contend with in this today's trading session, so we'll keep an eye out on how SGX Nifty pans out and our trade pans out. But let's take the political drama forward. After a historic overnight hearing on a plea by Congress JDS, the Supreme Court has indicated that there will be no stay on Yeddyurappa's swearing in. He will indeed take oath at 9 a.m. today. CNN News 18's Arunima joins in with the latest on that. Arunima.
Right. So there is no interim stay on Yeddyurappa's oath as Chief Ministership. However, like Abhishek Manu Singhvi tweeted just a few hours back, he calls this oath provisional. And why he's calling it provisional is because ultimately you will have to prove your strength on the floor of the House. Abhishek Manu Singhvi is going to argue before the Supreme Court later in the day that the floor test that Yeddyurappa has to take. The governor has given him 15 days. That is unconstitutional as per the JDS Congress combined. They want it to be pushed forward. Be given only 48 hours. Essentially, what JDS and Congress is saying is that if you give 15 days to the BJP, you're encouraging horse trading, break the JDS or poach MLAs from Congress and JDS, give them 48 hours, and if they can't prove their numbers on the floor of the House, then Yeddyurappa's oath today does become provisional. That's the argument. We'll have to wait and see if they get any relief from Supreme Court, if the floor test, which is now slated 15 days from today, will be preponed as JDS and Congress wants.
Okay, Arunima, thank you so much for joining us with all that transpired regarding the Karnataka political action late last evening, in fact, early this morning as well. But yesterday, back home on the Lal Street, Nifty breached the 10,700 mark and recovered mid-session, but failed to sustain at higher levels to end 0.5% in the red. Now, the Sensex, meanwhile, closed with a cut of around 150 points. Banks, well, they underperformed yesterday. The index tanked about 300 points in trade. Mid-caps were the clear outperformers. After a while, they have been underperforming a bit, but yesterday they ended almost flat for the day. But how the Qs stacked up for the day? Ekta joins us with more. Ekta, good morning. The political drama being in the forefront?
Yes, absolutely. Well, there is uncertainty which continues on that front, but I just want to reiterate what you said about yesterday's trade, where the Nifty did close in the red, but we had the mid-caps which recovered from the day's low to end absolutely flat. So that is an important cue considering the kind of underperformance that we've seen for the mid-cap index. The Bank Nifty underperformed in yesterday's trade. Now, the FIIs continue to net sell. They've sold over 10,000 odd crores just in FY18. They sold around 699 crores in yesterday's market. And the DIIs have continued their trend of buying. So the DIIs net bought around 229 crores in yesterday's trading session. Now, in terms of the Karnataka elections, the governor has called the BJP to form the government, but that continues to be mired in uncertainty and has now been shifted to the Supreme Court in terms of action. So that kind of uncertainty will probably plague in terms of the markets because of the lack of a government right now in Karnataka. Separately, we do have the global markets to contend with. So the US markets closed higher yesterday, but we still have the US 10-year, which is above 3.1% highest since June 2011. We have Asia, which is mostly in the green, reacting to this particular news. But Brent crude is now close to topping around $80 per barrel. So that market continues to be firm and is a negative cue for us. So overall, the SGX, however, currently seems to be quite sanguine about all of this news and is indicating that it will probably be a flattish bullish start for our market. We also have the Bank Nifty option expiry to contend with today. Separately, just keep an eye out on what's happening with the rupee and the bond markets. Rupee appreciated in terms of a close yesterday. The bond market, the yield continues to be at around 7.9%. Lot of result reactions. Tata Steel, JSW Steel are a couple to contend with. And in terms of numbers today, we have Bajaj Finance, Bajaj Finserv, Escort, Central Bank, ICRA in terms of a couple of numbers. If you talk about a Nifty range, likely to be around 10,500 to 10,900 currently. The key resistance to watch out for would be 10,930, which is the highest level that we hit on an intraday basis on Monday of this week.
All right, Ekta, you spoke about a couple of stocks which will be reacting to results. What are the other stocks you'll be watching out for?
Well, in terms of stocks and news, I will be watching out for Punjab and Sindh Bank. There was a loss of around 500 crores versus a profit of 8 crores year on year. Wellspun India, net profit tanked 43%. JK Lakshmi Cement, net profit was up 62%. Manali Petro, net profit 27 crores versus 7 crores year on year. So good numbers coming there. Praj Industries, net profit grew 30%, so positive there. Esther Industries, net profit 5.6 crores. And lastly, Divi's Labs, where Unit 1 has been cleared with 0 observations. So it should be a shot in the arm for that particular company. These are just a couple of stocks to watch out for.
Okay, Ekta, thank you so much for joining us and giving us all those stocks and news as well as the market cues to watch out for trade today. But it is time now for a short break. Up next, the CBI files its second charge sheet in the PNB fraud case. More on that on the other side of the short break. Welcome back. Well, straight on to the latest in the PNB fraud case. 2 days after filing its first charge sheet, the CBI has filed its second charge sheet on the 7,000 crore rupees fraud allegedly perpetrated by Mehul Choksi and his aides. Utkarsh Chaturvedi, who has accessed the CBI charge sheet, joins us with more details now. Utkarsh, over to you.
This is the second charge sheet filed in the PNB fraud. Now, this charge sheet pertains to the second FIR filed by CBI against Mehul Choksi, Gitanjali Gems and Nakshatra Diamonds. Now, the initial FIR was worth 5,000 crore rupees, but then the amount swelled to more than 7,000 crores. Now, this is a 12,000 page charge sheet, in fact, bigger than the one filed on Monday by CBI. And numbers of accused in this charge sheet is 18, which includes 3 companies. Now, the charge sheet also mentions a bribe of 1.2 crore given to Gokulnath Shetty, former deputy manager of PNB. The charge sheet also includes details of all the 142 LOUs and 52 premises that were searched by CBI. A total of 5 arrests were made in addition to the arrest made in the Nirav Modi case, and over 2,400 documents were seized. The 3 companies mentioned include Gitanjali Gems, Jilly India Limited, Nakshatra Brand Limited. When it comes to individuals, we have Mehul Choksi, Aniyat Nayyar, who is one of the directors in the company, and 3 officials from the Gitanjali group. The list of accused from PNB Bank remains the same, with even senior officials like Usha Ananthasubramaniam, KV Brahmaji Rao and Sanjeev Saran also in the charge sheet. The charges on these officials remain the same, that is of section 309 of IPC, which is criminal breach of trust, while others have been charged with sections like 120B and 420 of IPC, which is cheating, forgery and criminal conspiracy. Mehul Choksi has been declared as an absconder in the charge sheet, which adds him in the list of current absconders like Nirav Modi, Vijay Mallya and Lalit Modi. Finally, the charge sheet also says that the investigations on the role of overseas bankers and RBI officials is ongoing, and their role will be probed and mentioned in the supplementary charge sheet, which will be filed by CBI in the next 2 to 3 months. With that, it's back to you.
All right, Utkarsh, thanks a lot for that. Let's move on to the news coming in from the insolvency space. A breather for JP Infra. The Supreme Court has halted the liquidation of the company. Ritu Singh is here with more details. Ritu?
It is a temporary relief for the 18,000 odd home buyers of Jaiprakash Infotech, with the Supreme Court staying the liquidation proceedings against the company. Now, why were the liquidation proceedings started in the first place? That is because in their last meeting, the lenders had rejected the resolution proposal offered by Lakshadweep for about 7350 crore rupees for the company, citing that the valuation was too low, following which, given that the deadline, the 270-day deadline under IBC for the company expired on the 12th of May, the company was to head into liquidation. So for now, the court has stayed that liquidation until the next hearing, which we understand is on the 4th of July. That is when, the next step will be decided as to whether the company has to go, for a second round of bidding, or, will Manoj Kaur's offer of 10,000 odd crore rupees to revive Jayaprakash Infotech be accepted. All of that is now to be decided by the Supreme Court. In the meantime, they have also asked Jayaprakash Associates, the parent company of Jayaprakash Infotech, to deposit about 1,000 crore rupees with the court by the 15th of June in the interest of the home buyers, failing which they've strictly warned Jayaprakash Associates that there will be strict statutory action against Infotech if they fail to deposit this money with the court.
Okay, we will get you more from that developing story. Separately, JP Infratech will report its numbers today, so that will remain in focus. But it is time for a quick break now. Up next, we will discuss some more earnings that came by late last evening. Tata Steel reported a healthy set of numbers. We'll discuss more on that on the other side of this short break.